Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to your intuitive week of February 24th, the last week of this month of letting go. And how has the month unfolded for you? Have you noticed that you have been having to let go? Has there been a bunch or a little bit of energy or literal physical things in your life that you have had to part ways with? Because that's really what this month felt like, that it was a time to really release everything that was not in alignment, for lack of a better word, not in alignment for everything in our life that is not serving us now and will definitely not in the future. Specifically, if we're looking towards a time where everything that we are wanting and creating and desiring exists, this really felt like the month that so much was leaving, releasing everything that is not going to come with us. I hope you were able to release some doubt and fear. Release those limiting ideas or beliefs that are not true, that are keeping you from moving towards what you really desire, but not only desire, you desire it because that's what is meant for you. So if that is you, another note about that is it is not easy to be releasing and letting go of so much. So if you have been really shifting your energy this way and doing it in a material way too, if you have been clearing out and giving away and donating and letting go and throwing out, that is such an energetic shift too. So if you have been letting go in all different aspects, have you been taking care of yourself too? Have you noticed that you are a little bit more tired than usual? Well, that is a sign from your energy that you need to rest. You need to calibrate and integrate all of those energetic shifts. And over the month, but definitely last week, I was reminded of this so many times, that resting, listening to what we need, not pushing ourselves if we are moving through a lot of transitionary time, make sure that you are taken care of. And for some of us, that is only a little part of that. And for some of us, we can only do a little bit of that. We don't have the privilege and the pleasure of saying no for a full week and not doing anything. A very small percentage of people can do that. But this does mean saying no to the thing that you can say no to. That one thing, even if it feels so bad and that you're going to be disappointing everyone and you don't want to change your mind or change your plans. It's okay. You can reschedule, you can change, you can take care of yourself with the things that are in your control. And we all have at least one thing in our control that we can decide. Is this good for me now or is this not? So a little reminder that you do have at least one thing in your life that you can say, wait, should I be doing this? Could I use a night by myself instead, a morning by myself? Can I give to this person or this group or this company or this community at a different time because I am out of steam? So for those of you that have been out of steam, recognize it and shift one thing. And if this isn't you and you've been taking care of your schedule and your energy and really looking after what you have and what you can do and checking in with your boundaries and your bandwidth and all the things, Good. Keep going. And if you do have a lot, maybe reach out to someone in your life that doesn't and help them take something off their plate. Just a little gentle reminder about our energy and how big the feelings and emotions and releasing that happened over this month, not to mention the collective energy around us. So take care. And before I dive in fully to the energy impressions, I wanted to share that my intuitive spoon bending workshop is up and available to purchase a ticket for. There was some schedule shifting that needed to happen, so now it is on Saturday, April 12th from 12 to 2 Pacific time. It's going to be virtual on Zoom, so you can join from anywhere in the world. And it is so much fun and can shift so much in those 2 hours. So please join us if you are a little bit curious. It is really hard to describe what you learn about yourself and your energy and the power of your energy. This workshop is an intuitive workshop, and it really is all about helping you understand how your unique energy, how you set intentions and take inspired action toward your desires. This is not just about bending the spoon. If you've heard anything about manifestation, how to manifest, different ways about manifesting, this is the practice for you because it gets to the depth of what might be in the way of you setting goals, calling things in, claiming, however you like to call it, but what's in the way of you really manifesting things in your life. And most of the time, it is the hurdle and the blocks within you that can keep you from trusting the timing, trusting your intuition, trusting yourself. That's what I found. Because the art of intuitive spoon bending, what I created over almost 2 years, it was a year and a half for me to create this workshop from just getting kind of obsessed with this idea and looking in and reading and researching all the different ways that people are doing this and have been doing for decades. This is something that felt so magical when I found it and found this technique that works for me because it's a mirror for your mindset. Those parts of your mindset that you are not super aware of that could be in the way. The way of you trusting, in the way of you really releasing attachment, releasing your grip on the how of everything working out in your life. So in this workshop, let's do it a little differently. This workshop is not for you if you have no interest in releasing subconscious hurdles or blocks that are in the way of your manifestations or your goals. This is not for you if you would not like to feel the unique imprint of your powerful energy. This is not for you if you could care less about how to bend a common metal spoon using your intuitive energy and the power of intention. This is not for you if you would not like to learn how to feel and transcend the energy of your limitations. And this is definitely not for you if a magical and grounded circle of intuitive development that will really help you understand and learn new ways for you to fully trust and surrender to your manifestations and in your life. If that sounds horrible, this is not for you. But if all of those sound really interesting and something that you would love to take part in, then it is for you. Because in addition to learning how to bend your spoon, this workshop will be a mix of exercises to connect to the wisdom in your heart energy field, connect to your honest desires and longings within your heart that are asking for you to act on now, and I will be guiding you on a meditation journey to meet your highest self, which is the highest expression of you, your most authentic part, the part of you that is higher than your doubt and your fear, higher than everything that's in the way of you living the life that you really want to live, the one that is the most satisfying in fulfilling your purpose. So yes, you're going to learn how to bend a common kitchen spoon. Bring one that you don't mind bending. You can even buy one or go to a thrift store and grab one and pay for it, obviously. And afterwards, things shift. I've seen it. It's remarkable. So I hope you can join us on Saturday, April 12th from 12 to 2 Pacific time. And if you cannot join us, don't worry. As long as you buy your ticket in advance, sign up, you will get the full replay. So if you join us live on the Zoom on that Saturday, April 12th, whatever you share, whatever you say, and your video will not be included in the replay. I edit all of that out. So the replay is only my video, but you'll still get to experience it fully. And if you do join, you also get the replay, so you can continue this spoon bending practice afterwards. So go to the show notes and you'll see the link there that you can click to learn more and to sign up. And I cannot wait to see you there. And it's kind of nice that it's a little further away now because we can get a nice big group of people. And yeah, it's just going to be so much fun. Okay, so let's dive in. Now, just a very quick for anyone who hasn't listened before, what I do as an intuitive guide, I go into a beautiful, deep meditation with the intention of receiving any insight or guidance that will help us move through the week with a bit more clarity to help you remember what you already know. And then I always finish with some journal prompts, intuitive questions that will help you get even more clarity for the week, but for the year, for your life, really. And if you're listening to this not in the week, it can still be for you. You found it for a reason. So have a listen, trust what resonates, and leave what doesn't. Okay, so the energy impressions for this week ahead, the first thing that came into my meditation was a beautiful moon, but it was dark. And as I was reading it afterwards, writing down, I realized, oh, the new moon. There is a new moon this week. So on Thursday or Friday, depending what hemisphere you're in, there's a beautiful new phase of the moon happening. And this new moon is supporting and inspiring new beginnings, a new phase in your life. But that was after the meditation that I really connected to the new moon. But it goes with everything else that was coming in. So the other part of the meditation was a beautiful image of dandelion seeds really flying through the wind and landing. Now, this really felt like a beautiful symbol of something that we have wished for, something that we have wished and blown those seeds, put it out into the universe, something that we are manifesting, that this thing is coming to fruition. But because they were kind of stuck into the ground, it may need you to look for it. It may not be so obvious to see where these seeds are planted. And then the animal came in quite quickly, which sometimes the animal comes in right at the end of the meditation, but this was right at the beginning. And it completely goes with this symbolism of those dandelion seeds floating and then landing and kind of going into the ground. Because the animal was a badger, and the badger was digging into the earth, helping to find those seeds. And this really felt like a call to remember that without action any seeds that we have planted through our wishes, through our desires, through our attention, that those seeds will not grow without our action, without us using our hands, without doing the work. The wish will not be fulfilled. But even saying that, doesn't that make sense? It's hard to feel fulfilled when we are just given something that we desire. When we are part of that co-creation, when our action is part of the creation, then we can feel way more fulfilled when we know that we have been a part of this, that we took the action without knowing 100% or even 50% or even 30% if it would all work out. So the badger is really reminding us about getting grounded, first of all, always, but then using our hands, digging into the earth, finding our way. They burrow. They make beautiful little burrows, and they have separate little places for their activities. They make like little homes that we would be used to, that have separate little rooms. They have a separate little place for going to the bathroom, and then they have a separate place for where they sleep, and a separate place for where they put their food. They're very intentional. So this week, it feels like the badger is inspiring us to remember our intentions, to remember the power that we have to take action, to stop procrastinating, to check in with why we're procrastinating. Are you maybe just exhausted? Maybe you need to give yourself a break. Maybe that's part of what needs to be let go this month. The pressure that you put on yourself to keep going, even when you are completely out of energy. And since we are on the badger, let's get into more of their symbolism before I share the rest of what came through for this week. So the energy of the badger represents being courageous, being bold, having focus, grounding, persistence, protection, boundaries, spiritual journeys, storytelling, strength, and tenacity. And one thing about the badger is they have very thick skin, thicker than almost any other animal from what I read, apart from elephants, rhinos, and giraffes. They're the fourth thickest skin. So this also feels like a message for this week. You may need a bit of a thicker skin. Pay attention to taking things personally. Not about being oversensitive, no, but about allowing things that can kind of take you off of your path, off of your route, off of your center. So where in your life this week can you pay attention to when that thick skin is going to be a strength of yours? And then from Ted Andrews' book, Animals Speak, which also helps with that cross-cultural symbolism, badgers are an earth symbol and are regarded as protectors of the roots of medicine. They're considered in spiritual groups as magical creatures because of their ability to resist snake venom. To some, seeing a badger is a sign of great luck. And the message is that we should all be able to unlock our own true potential and work hard at making it shine. So putting in that effort, right? And then another part of the excerpt of Animals Speak about the badger. Are you or those around you not digging deep enough? It may indicate a need to get beneath the surface. It may reflect a time of greater connection to the earth. It may be telling you to draw upon the stories that intrigued you and held you fast during childhood. They may be symbolic of things going on or about to go on in your current life. Whenever Badger shows up, there will be opportunities to develop self-expression and reliance. It speaks of a time to begin to tell a new story about yourself and your life. And then I wanted to share this other piece that always reminds me of the Badger. It's from the story Crow and Weasel by Barry Lopez. "I would ask you to remember only this one thing," said Badger. "The stories people tell have a way of taking care of them. If stories come to you, care for them and learn to give them away where they are needed. Sometimes a person needs a story more than food to stay alive. That is why we put these stories in each other's memory. This is how people care for themselves." So how can the Badger, all of this information, all of this insight, what resonated with you? How can it inspire you this week? And then the last piece from the meditation for the energy impressions for the week ahead is getting back to the heart. There was a big feeling and focus for our heart space. So paying attention to your heart, really going back inward, feeling love for others and for yourself. And while that focus was being brought to the heart, there was also an image of breaking chopsticks apart and letting one go, dropping it. And this felt like a symbol that part of our heart, the part that is still carrying maybe an old hurt or a past heartbreak or a betrayal or a self-betrayal, part of that hurt in our heart, something that broke but is not broken, needs our attention, needs some forgiveness, some love, because chopsticks are for eating, the oldest tool for eating. And this felt like a message that the hurt or the heartbreak from the past that is within our heart, that we're holding on to, that we haven't let go of or loved back to ourselves or forgiven, that is stopping a part of our heart from feeling nourished and fed. So this week, we may want to pay attention to any reminders or feelings or memories from our heart that are connected to a heartbreak, a pain that needs to be released or forgiven or loved, that is in the way of that fullness and nourishment of our full, beautiful hearts. So something to pay attention to if it resonates with you. And it does not feel like the emotional waves are really going to be gone, but we may have a bit more ease moving through our feelings this week if we pay attention, if we pay attention to our hearts, get grounded, and take action that we really have felt inspired to take, but we haven't yet. This may be the week to do it. Now let's get into some journal prompts, intuitive questions that will help you gain even more clarity. You can answer one or all of them or none. Trust what resonates. But you don't have to answer them written like a traditional journal if you don't feel called to do that. You could answer them in a voice note. You could kind of think about one while you're going for a walk or doing the dishes. But if one does resonate, make time this week to answer it. It may be really helpful. So the first journal prompt that you could answer in any way you want: what new beginning do you wish for? And really trust the first thing that comes. What new beginning do you wish for? And then describe in detail, and how does this help you understand what needs to happen now? And a second question could be, what action do you know you have to take, but you are procrastinating? Where are you procrastinating? And be super honest. Do not judge yourself. Just really allow the truth to come. And what comes up, and how can you help yourself move forward? What do you know? What do you know about yourself, and what's in the way? So, what action do you know you have to take, but are procrastinating? And how can you help yourself move forward? And then a third question could be, what lingering energy or attachment from a past heartbreak do you need to let go? And this may be not romantic. This may be friendship, at work. This may be a way that you broke your own heart by not listening to it. How can you forgive and let go so that your heart can feel full and fed again? What does your heart need? And then a fourth question for this week, inspired by the badger. How can you begin to tell a new story about yourself or your life? Where do you need to begin to tell a new story about yourself or your life? And trust what comes. But if that one resonates with you, or if there's one question that you feel like, well, I don't want to answer that, well, that's the one that you want to start with, in my experience. But I wish you a beautiful week ahead. And thank you so much for listening to this episode of Intuitive Seek. I would love to hear if you resonated with the energy that I'm feeling and that I shared. And if you have any thoughts or questions, please do not hesitate to send me a message through my website, treenlight.com, or through my Instagram at treenlight.healing. And if you're curious about working with me, go to the show notes where you'll see the contact there, but also a link for you to tap on. And that's where you can explore all the ways that I can support you. And if you haven't already, hugely appreciate it if you subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give some support, little extra, then you can always share this episode with a friend that you feel like could really use it. And you could also leave a review. That really helps other people find it. So thank you so much again. Be kind to yourself, and I will talk to you next week.